I'm Caitlin from the Moving to Maryland podcast. Are you looking for a great place for a bite to eat in Hampden? Well, as a big time foodie and former Hampden resident, I have a few ideas. Stick with me for a Google Earth tour through some of my favorite spots in Hampden. Okay, let's do it. So, we'll start our tour of restaurants in Hampden with just a little bit of context about where Hampden is in relation to the rest of Baltimore. The Inner Harbor is down here, and this is 83, which runs up through the city. Fells Point is in here, and Canton, you can see Patterson Park is this little green spot here. So Hampden is kind of in between downtown and what eventually becomes the county right about here. That makes it a really convenient place for people who live in the city and people who live in the county. In fact, Hampden was the first place when I grew up. I lived in Towson, and when I first got my driver's license, Hampden was like the first place that I was allowed to drive in the city. I would go there with my friends, and we would go to Holy Frijoles and get a big plate of nachos and act like we were like cool enough to be hanging out in the city by ourselves. We weren't. Okay, so as we zoom in a little bit closer to Hampden, I want to tell you just a little bit about what makes the Hampden food scene so special. This is a really artsy, kind of eclectic community. There's a lot of emphasis on vegan and vegetarian food. When I lived there, I was vegan and I took advantage of these restaurants all the time. There's something for everyone. There's definitely less of an emphasis on fine dining and more of an emphasis on cool, casual, delicious food with great ingredients. The first restaurant that I want to highlight is a spot called Golden West. So this is right on the avenue. It is a Southwest themed diner with, again, tons of vegan options. I always got the true special. It's just tortillas, black beans, guacamole, and hash browns. You make your own little wraps, and I love that spot. They also have a little to-go window here, which is super convenient. And then right across the street, you have a place called the Bluebird Cocktail Room. They're also owned by a very mission-driven restaurant group. It is first and foremost a bar, but they do have some pub-style food. The cocktails are excellent and the vibe is really fun. It is adults only, no kids allowed, just so you're aware, but it's a really fun time. All right, next is the food market. This is probably one of the more high-end dining options in Hampden. It is comfort food done really well in a modern industrial kind of space with good service. It's a great time. They've been on the avenue for years and they are fantastic. Now moving off of 36th Street and onto Chestnut, Common Ground, which used to be on 36th Street, has been open in Hampden for 25 years. They brew Zeke's coffee, which is a local coffee brand. They make their own muffins and stuff in-house, which also they have a bunch of vegan and gluten-free options. And they do sandwiches, soups, salads, stuff like that. So a great casual place for coffee, breakfast, lunch. They have this little outdoor seating area, which is also lovely. I love. And right next door to that is a place called Paulie G's, which they have a few locations in other cities like Chicago, but it's not a big chain. This place does wood fire style pizza so right, it's wrong. It's just delicious. And they make this cashew cheese in-house and vegan sausage, which is just to die for. And if you're looking for a cool bar spot, they also have a hidden bar in the back that's adults only. And it's very like your dad's basement vibes, like wood paneling and trophies. You know what I mean. And then right down the street from that is a place called Harmony Bakery and Cafe. They are all vegan all the time. Everything in there is fantastic. When I was living in this neighborhood, I went to Harmony Bakery as many days a week as I could because they have some of the best vegan pastries, like specifically cookies and like iced cookie sandwiches and stuff like that I've ever had. All of the vegans out there can relate to not being able to find like that super delicious, it just hits right sweet treat. This is where you find that. And then also on Chestnut, You have Rocket to Venus, which has become a real Hampden staple, just very eclectic gastro pub. Now to just a couple spots that are in that more mill area. The Blue Pit BBQ is fantastic. They have a dog friendly space. They're all about animals and animal rescues. They also have pulled jackfruit as an option, which I think is, again, so fantastic for vegans and vegetarians. So often they're completely left out of the barbecue game, and Blue Pit has not forgotten about them. And right across the street is a spot called Artifact, which is by the same people that did Woodbury Kitchen. It's coffee, breakfast, pastries, delicious, nice little seating area outside, just a good place for coffee and a pastry. And then I saved one of my all-time favorites for very last. This is La Cuchara, which is a Basque restaurant. For those who don't know what Basque is, the Basque region is between France and Spain. So you have a mix of both of those cuisines. This used to be a London coat factory that they converted into a restaurant, and it is just awesome. The owners of this restaurant know what they're doing. The service is good, the food is good, the drinks are good. This is like my go-to. I can't have a disappointing experience tonight, so I'm gonna go somewhere I know is going to be great. It's La Cuchara. That's what this place is for me. And that's a quick tour of some great restaurants in Hampden. If you would like a tour of the area, if you would like help finding a great restaurant or a fantastic house, I am a licensed realtor with the Greatest Moves team of Remax Advantage, and I would be happy to assist. And if you liked this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.